Alright, good old-fashioned Thamasa review with our FF5 goofy music in the background. So, alright, as you know, I talk about all the characters. Usually I give them meme ratings. We already did that for the nurse review, though. Usually I do the Thamasa review in order of my favorite characters, but number one, I like all these characters. Also, it's way easier just to take the order out so we can actually look at the stuff they have instead of just, like, clicking them like this. Let's actually go ahead and get started with our REINA. Let's go ahead and talk about what she has. So Mimic is great. We actually haven't used Mimic much this game with her. I used it a little bit, like when I was mimicking step mines and stuff like that, but most of the time we're doing her question mark ice, because question mark ice is not a bad skill. Her magic power is pretty decent. We get Shiva a lot, but it's Reina's best friend now, so what are you gonna do? Her star pendant, I assume, has come in handy. I'm sure there's been a lot of hits she's taken that are supposed to poison her that hasn't, so. And then her magic, she actually has Cure now and Life. She's got a decent support list here. She is learning Ice 3 from one of her espers. Stop and Slow, so not a bad list. Not incredibly helpful. Life is really good because we don't have a life spell on pretty much anybody else, I'm pretty sure. But let's take a look at her espers because they're really cool. So Stray, she got Stop and Cure from that with the stamina up. Wind Sync makes wind spells worse. Nobody's really using wind, so if we want to get her stamina for whatever reason, we can. Siren, Repel Fire and SOS Imp's Ice. That second one is Imp, Song, and Ice Beam. That is what one of our other characters has as a command. She is getting HP from that, so we will use that sometimes. Repel Fire could come in handy too. It's just fire-specific Reflect. Let's look at Palador. Catch and Time Font. We still don't know what the time prefix does in these junctions in the Beyond Chaos community yet. Catch, I don't remember if Catch is figured out on the Discord, but if it's anything like Final Fantasy Tactics, I have a feeling if you run into an enemy that throws things at you, that if you have Catch, they have a chance of stealing it. I don't know if that means it's not going to do the damage to you, but that would be pretty cool. We got Ice 3 Quarter and Life off of this, and MP plus 30%, which is actually probably the best thing for her. All that being said, let's look at Unicorn. So Juggler is one of the new ones that happened in one of the most recent updates. No one knows what it does yet. It's not on the junction list with an explanation. I have one theory, and I think what it does is it's similar to the Juggler in Chrono Trigger, right? In Magus's Castle, the one that half the time he can be hurt by magic, other half the time he can't. That might be what it does. Weakness to physical, weakness to magic, flip-flopping back and forth maybe per turn. SOS Haste is nice to have on that too, but we do have running shoes that are double time, so that doesn't really help us too much. SOS Life 3, on the other hand, is probably the way we're going to get through Magi Master later in the game. So it does not learn any skills, but it does have magic power plus 1, which is really, really nice. So that being said, Reina, you're pretty good. She also has something really neat that she can do. The Mithril Pike has Caller on it, which is a junction that lets, if you have it equipped, when you go into your magic menu and go up to where you would summon an Esper, it actually lets you cycle through all of the Espers that character can equip that you have, and cast any of them. And you can cast them multiple times. So if I really wanted to be busted with Reina, I could pull an Evil Tina with her and basically give her a Palador command that costs MP. She could just constantly do Palador if she has the MP for it. But again, a little busted. We're not in a Mad World seed here, so I'm not looking to cause that kind of havoc. But yeah, Reina, super cool, super good. Glad she's here. Nina has had Step Mine all game, and an amulet, obviously, for her innate relic. So the thing about Step Mine, I don't know what happened, but we leveled up all of the steps up to like 32k in the scenario split earlier in the game, and that made it start doing like 1100 damage. But since then, it has decreased to 700 and something, which shouldn't be possible because it's supposed to be a formula that has to do with your steps. It should only get stronger as you go on. There's only one theory that I have on why it might have gone down. The other part of step mine in the formula is that the MP cost goes up, so I'm wondering if because her step mine takes 0 MP, that we moved on to a threshold of steps where it was trying to adjust for that, and because it costs 0 MP, it goes back to doing less. I don't know. I'm going to test that next episode with Evelyn, because she has lore. I want to see if her step mine does the correct amount of damage. If not, then I don't know what to think. Either way, step mine's still really good. Single target, non-elemental damage. Nina still does not have a weapon, unfortunately, but we have been equipping her with this Genji shield that has Plague, which at the very beginning of the battle, Plague gives all of your enemies condemned. So, if they are susceptible to dying to condemned, if you wait long enough, they will. This is what Ovelia had last game, but it didn't ever work, so maybe that was just a bug that it didn't work then, because this is a newer version. It's not the newest version, but it's a newer one than the last game. So, maybe that's why it works now. But, yeah, Nina, cool as shit. I like her. As far as what we've been giving her relic-wise, nothing really outstanding, just running shoes like we give to everybody else, because double time running shoes, just great. Alright, speaking of Evelyn, we have her next, a British friend. Evelyn, like I said, has our lore command. She also has our all, which, no thanks. One day maybe, if we have perfect magic defense, but while Crusader is a possibility, we really don't want to chance it. But lore, on the other hand, is always good by the end of the game. Right now it's pretty good because we got another character that ended up getting us Big Guard, so now she has that in her list, but she also has the step mine, and we got Stone also. Somehow we survived Stone long enough to get it. Oh, we didn't even look at Nina's Espers. I'll go back and do that in a moment. So, Phantom for Evelyn. That's pretty good. Sunken State. Whenever you get hit, you just instant vanish. That's Sunken State's really, really good. And taught her Remedy, Strength +2. The magic she learns doesn't really matter because she doesn't have a magic command. And Bismarck's double AP doesn't really matter either. Fire Boost could matter maybe one day. If she gets like a fire element weapon that's really, really good, that could help. But as for right now, yeah, her Espers are merely for show, except Sunken State, I guess. She got one useless skill and one really, really good skill. I would have rather she had like fight magic lore item or something. Actually, fight something beneficial to us, and then lore and item would have been great. Yeah, at the same time, the lore user just ends up being the lore user at the end of the day. So let's look at Nina's Espers now, since we forgot. Esper is Bismarck. Same one that Evelyn has. Stamina up, stop warp, double AP fire boost. Not the best. Her magic list is nothing special either. Bolt scan, stop warp. So yeah, but Nina's just been step mining, so it doesn't really matter what kind of Esper she has. Alright, Edie. Probably still the best character that we have. Mind Cleave has pretty much wrecked the entire game. Mind Blast Cleave, multiple ways, all in one skill to instant kill enemies. And then Control, which we've used a few times, but haven't really gotten any huge use out of it just yet. I think she's getting some stuff in her magic list right now, but again, it doesn't really matter. There's no reason not to do Mind Cleave most of the time. As far as her Espers go, just Starlet, which is Null Freeze, which I still don't know what that does. But she did get some pretty decent magic, despite us not really using her magic. And Magic Power +2 at level up's pretty good too. But yeah, Edie, easily the best character that we've got in this game, especially when we pop the running shoes on her. She does have another thing that she can do with the Dragoon Boots, which will give her Steal instead of Mind Cleave, in case we do want to try and steal stuff. But yeah, most of the time, no, we're just cleaving. Cleave away. Edie's badass. Don't fuck with her. And then we have Dee Dee, our stuttering friend. Dee Dee's awesome. She got jump and throw. She also has an Atlas armlet, which is great. And we've actually been giving her the Pearl Lance, which we got kind of early on. Pretty good weapon to be jumping with in the first place. We also can give her a Dragon Horn for multiple jumps. And she has a piece of equipment. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Mithril Helm. That gives her High Wind, which allows us to choose when to come down from the jump, which is really neat. But mostly what she's been doing is throwing shurikens, edges, stuff like that. Throw is just a great command. Been a while since we've had it because I usually don't do vanilla commands, but yeah, really cool to see throw. And as far as her espers, she has Seraphim, which is giving her Crisis Arm. Also, True Paladin is really cool because she does, for storyline reasons, she kind of protects one of the other sisters all the time, and now she has True Paladin, which is perfect. So I've been giving her that. Crisis Arm is pretty good too, if you can figure out how to use it right. It is literally Robo's Crisis Arm from Chrono Trigger. Earth Sync doesn't really matter, we're not doing any like quakes or anything, so that's just like a totally dead junction on there. And then she has Shout, which freebie is exactly like Mario Party and Mario RPG. Oh, well, sorry, not Mario Party, Mario RPG and like Paper Mario and stuff, where you use an item and it sometimes just replenishes itself. But VIP literally makes you Banon. If you die, it's game over. So it's not really worth it to equip on her. Plus she doesn't have a magic command, so learning Fire 2 and Poison doesn't really matter much. The Strength Up would be nice on level up, but I am not chancing VIP. It's too stupid. I'd rather just get her HP up from this. There's Dee Dee. She's pretty cool as well. They're all cool. Okay, and we have Lena. Of course, the whole reason we are here in the first place. So, White Cape, number 1, my favorite relic, equipped on her right off the bat. And then what I mistakenly thought was Mega Bolt earlier in the game when I looked at it, because, you know, you can understand why I was thinking that's what it was. But no, it's Mega Hit Bolt 3. So it's Shock into a Bolt 3. It's ridiculous. She has General Leo's freaking General Leo's Shock, bunch of non-elemental damage, just AoE, and then a Bolt 3 at the back end of it with a 47 magic power stat. Pretty damn good. She's also got a magic command, but we have not been using it, obviously. She can equip Shiva and Starlet. Shiva has damage split, and she will probably start learning Cure 3 soon. I would like for her to have that. Magic power, I don't know if that will affect Shock, but it should affect Bolt 3, so we will probably want to equip Shiva on Lena for sure. Starlet, also, for these spells, magic power +2 would be pretty nice after a while. I think after we finish up Shiva with her, we'll just put Starlet on her for the magic power +2 on levels. But also, there was another thing that I got. I think it's this Bone Club, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. No, that's just Auto Shell, but it's pretty strong. There's something I got for her that has Bolt Boost that's perfect for her Bolt 3, but I don't remember what it is. We'll probably discover that next episode. But yeah, Lena, what's there to say? She's got General Leo's Shock. She's freaking awesome. And then we have one of our latest characters, Peace, whom we named because she does not speak. She is very quiet. She is our Berserker. She has a guard ring, which is pretty nice. But yeah, she's just a fight Zerker. Little miffed that I actually didn't use Replace Everything and somehow still got a fight Zerker instead of like a Sword Tech Zerker or Blitz Zerker or something. That would have been fun. But either way, she is a Berserker, which makes her pretty much immediately good no matter what. The weapons she can equip are decent too. Swords, knives. Hawkeye is pretty good. She's also got a Rage Ring that actually has Fizz Boost on it. Maintenance and Fizz Boost. So I don't know if maintenance is ever going to be a thing for her. Not unless she gets like an Ogre Nyx one day, probably, if that is what maintenance does. But Fizz Boost is just helping a lot. So she can chuck people and she has physical boost to her damage. And she's a Berserker, so it just makes it really, really good. As far as Espers, none. She doesn't need them. She just is a death machine because she's the Zerker. Speak softly, carry a big-ass Rage Ring. And our other new character, No One, very depressing. She has I just looked at what her innate relic is, Sniper Sight, so she can't miss. She has Steel, so we don't have to do it with Edie if we don't want to. We can always just put No One on the team. And our Bless, which is a bunch of buff skills for the party. There's a few that do haste, so that's not really great for us because we have those running shoes. But she's the one who did Big Guard and gave it to Evelyn in our lore list. And it has a few other applications too, like it can reflect us sometimes, it can regen us, stuff like that. So the R Bless is a good skill, and she's a really good support character. I don't know how much we'll use her. As far as like middle of the road, just pretty okay characters go, she's okay. The one thing that sucks is she's a katana wielder, and katanas are not that good in Final Fantasy VI, unfortunately. But her Forged does have Fizz Boost and SOS Cure 3, which is not bad. No one, pretty cool. Welcome to the team. Sorry, you're really sad all the time. Rootin' Tootin' Zeta over here, our airship pilot. So she's not amazing, unfortunately. Number one, she's got a curse ring, and it really cracked me up in a cutscene when she walked in and had 46 seconds left on her timer. Probably because the cutscene had to use a battlefield for the cutscene, so it had to give her her 46 seconds. But she has Morph and Sketch, so very, very niche, both of those skills. Somebody had to get some crappy skills. I guess it was her. As far as Espers, she has Carbuncle, which is Camouflage, Instant Run, Sunken State. Pretty good set of skills. Camouflage, we still don't know what it exactly does. I'm guessing that what Camouflage does is like wall change, what number 24 does. Maybe it makes her weak to only certain spells every turn. Instant Run is if you can run and you start pressing the R and L buttons immediately, she will immediately run. Sunken State is just like Sunken State on the other one, so yeah, gives her Vanish whenever she gets hit. So not bad. Dispel she could learn, but she doesn't have a magic command. And Strength Up +1 is okay, I guess, because all she's really going to be doing is swinging. If we ever use her, because sorry, that cursed ring really, really sucks. You just worry about piloting the airship there, Zeta. Similar story with Nora here. She talks very, very fast. She does not leave gaps in her speech. Mostly because numbers must be running through her head constantly. She has R level and level 3 muddle. So level 3 muddle she could always randomly pull out of R level. So it's kind of like a double command. Not the best little set there. She does have a magic command, which we'll check her Espers in a moment. And she'll never get confused, which is confused or berserked, which is nice because that peace ring innate. But let's check out her Espers. She has Corinne, SOS Haste and SOS Regen, Berserk Osmos, and MP up. And that's it. If she had some better Espers, she might end up being a good character because of having a magic command in general, but yeah, as of right now, she's not the best. She's just kind of hanging on the airship. And finally, we have Fifi. Fifi is badass. She is the untouchable displacer beast of the REINAs. The whole thing with her is that she hates to be touched, which was a concept I came up with for the character I was going to find on the Veldt in the first place, and then her stuff just made it make way too much sense. She has a Zephyr Cape innately, so dodging physical attacks. She has Runic that she can throw up and absorb magic attacks. And then we have just been going off the deep end, making her evade just as high as possible. Basically, I've been giving her beads, and then we have a Thunderblade equipped on her. Mostly all she's doing is swinging, because this has MP critical. She was using the Rune Edge earlier in the game. We have a Thunderblade now that's stronger that also has MP critical. I'm pretty sure throughout the game I'm just going to keep giving her MP critical weaponry. But yeah, and then her Espers. One very specific Esper is awesome for her, and that is Ifrit. Not only does she have a Zephyr Cape, not only can she runic enemies' attacks, not only is her evade really high in the first place, popularity is literally True Knight. Every character will jump in front of her, sometimes even enemies, like they're love tokened. So yeah, she never pretty much gets hit. Also, on top of all that, we have been giving her the Mirage Vest for image, so even more ways for her not to be hit. So Fifi never gets hit and does badass damage with her MP critical. She's awesome. Don't fuck with her. She's one of my favorite characters we've gotten. And then, of course, we had Steph, who we do not have right now, obviously, because we will be getting her on the floating continent. But she has Imp and Imp Song Ice Beam. Not great. Really not great, actually. Those skills are pretty mediocre. But Ice Beam is a pretty big, dumb ice attack that could come in handy. Yeah, she's kind of on the low end of our characters, I'd say, kind of a dud. And as far as the seed goes, I love the seed, I love the story. This has been one of my favorite stories to write. I love the fact that the concepts I'm coming up with for these characters, they end up having skills and things that make sense for it. After I see them, that's just adding more and more to the narrative. This story has changed so much based on me playing the game than what it was when I started. Because when I started, I had a very bare bones idea of what I wanted to do narratively, and it has just wildly changed. You have no idea. It would be unrecognizable from what my original idea was. So yeah, thank you Beyond Chaos for giving me even cooler ideas than I started with. Either way, thanks you guys for watching. Next episode, we're going to run around, we're going to do Doma, we're going to stop in at South Figaro and stuff like that, and probably take on that presenter in Narsh. We got some shopping to do, and then it's straight to the floating continent. So I will see you guys then. Peace.